But when you have an oracle deck that you can count on, and you have to like the art of the oracle deck, you have to um, want to consult it, and you have to believe in it. But when you have that, you're always checking in with it. So I always have my tarot cards nearby, and if I want a message, I cut the cards. I got justice, which is balance. It's my message. But you can have a message that keeps you on track, because it's so easy to get thrown off track, depending on our anxiety or worry, or, the challenges of the day and the time. So using an oracle keeps you on track to your goals, and they're always there to advise you and to guide you, because basically the guidance is coming within you.
So, thank you for sharing the live, Marigold. And if everybody could share the live, that would be really good. And we're not going to be doing things like, will people get back together today? We want to teach you how to do it for yourself.
And also, the reason we don't particularly like that question, will he come back to me, is because,
Well, he is coming back. He's calling right now.
we want people to be growing and working on themselves. And if somebody isn't coming back, there's a reason inside of you that either wants it or doesn't want it, or has to have that lesson in life, or there's somebody better for you, or there's a reason that it's happening. So those are what the oracle cards can tell you, more than yes or no, are they coming back. And the reason we're bringing that up is because lots of the times we've been doing meetings on the lives, we see like 20 questions like that.
And
but anyhow, we can use some of your examples for goal setting.
Sure, we can.
And we'll pick cards on that.
I just want to say thank you, V. V was watching my Midnight with Monte last night, and she's here again. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Because you must be as tired as Monte.
She's a late night owl like me. So regarding getting back together with someone, one of the reasons Amy and I found each other is, we met in 1974, and Amy was 23, I was 24. And one of the reasons that we got together was because if somebody didn't want to be with us, we didn't want to be with them. So we ended up being with strong people. If you want to be with a strong person, if you want to be a strong person, you can't care too much.
And basically, we always say in one of the books that we wrote, you work on a relationship by working on yourself.
Exactly. You either grow together or you grow apart. And if you're with someone who thinks they're fine the way they are and they don't have to grow, well, you got your work cut out for you, or you got the door to go through.
So as far as manifestation, we've Monte's kind of come up with a 5-step technique for that really works. And it sounds simple, but it works so well.
And it's in our vision board oracle. I mean, you can use any oracle deck to manifest, but our oracle,
we like ours.
Our vision board oracle deck and the book that comes with it is designed not only to help you make a vision board, but it contains my quantum affirmations theory, which is a book in itself, and has the whole theory about how to manifest, because there is a scientific principle to manifestation. V says she also does tarot and astrology, so she loves how we think.
Thank you, V.
We do think metaphysically, let's get metaphysical. And
it really helps to have these tools. I mean, it's helped us for all these years that we're talking about, since we've been together. So I can understand Monte because I understand the cycles he's going through astrologically and vice versa. And I can consult him. I mean, because using oracles makes you psychic. So now Monte
is psychic.
Is so psychic, and he has my intuition. So in terms of relationships, it's very important to have an intuitive partner.
So Anne Marie, the troublemaker, says if someone wants to see if she's actually our best friend, if someone wants to see if someone comes back, how could they use the oracle cards to ask interpret? Okay.
So
easy.
Yeah. I would say give me guidance for my feelings for this person, whether they're coming back or not just yes or no, because it's more specific than that. It's like, I want to understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling in this situation. whether the person ghosted them or whether I'm just yearning for a partnership. There's so many facets that it could mean. So, for instance, this is just an example because he is with me, right? So I got flexibility. And there's an affirmation here. It says, I'm flexible and adaptable to change, the only constant in life. So, in other words, if you're asking, you want things to be like they used to be, but the person's gone, the person's not there. So, it's advising you to be more flexible now instead of just being stuck on that obsession. Because lots of times it turns into obsession. I don't know the specifics of a lot of these cases, but I do see that same question. So to me, it brings into question what exactly is going on. Has the person been gone for a long time? Is it because you're lonely? You know, instead of just asking that question, let's get to the root of what's really going on there. Because astrology and tarot, they're psychological languages. They have everything in life is contained in astrology and in the tarot, and it can teach us what's going on with other people and with ourselves. But you have to go deeper. You have to be willing to work on yourself.
And thank you, Kaidana, for sharing the live with more than 10 friends. That's awesome. And then
Kaidana's been here before, and thank you. It's always a nice feeling when people come back to join us because we're trying to share what's worked in our life and what's worked in our relationships and our one relationship.
I know you don't want dating advice from people who haven't dated since 1974, but
but we've heard it all because you've done thousands.
Yeah, I've done thousands of readings. I have discovered all the charts I did for all the movie people that I worked with over the years. Gabby says she's just starting on the spiritual path again, apparently, and was told she's a healer. Well, guess what? Everyone has to emulate the ability of our bodies to heal. If you're not consciously approaching your body and your health and your spiritual health,
that
your
comes
mental health.
Number one.
Yeah, health is number one. I don't want to sound like I guess I do want to sound like my grandmother. Your health, if you don't have your health, and I read for a lot of people, billionaires, very wealthy people, powerful people.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you don't have your health. They'd give anything, some of them.
But I think stress, we were just talking about this before, because wellness, love, job, money, those are the four issues that always come up when you're doing readings. And so for wellness, it starts with stress, right? Oh. Stress filters down from the spirit to your body.
Yeah, like shit rolls downhill.
And sometimes we're not aware of how stressed we are. And I think we're living in a very stressful time because there's an overload of information. There's so many things that we're powerless against, right? So we have to find ways to ground and come back in and eat well and drink lots of water and not medicate ourselves because we don't want to feel this or that. You have to be in touch with your feelings. I mean, that's a very healthy thing to do.
So were we each other's first live-in relationship? Yeah.
Like actually. I said, we were hippies, so if you know a little bit about that time,
Yeah, Amy said, "Why don't you
come out?" We
sold
our wild seeds.
She said, "Why don't you come out and spend the summer?" I sold everything I had and moved out here, and she was happy. I knew what I wanted. I'm not stupid.
You know, when you're young, or in those days, you don't overthink, right? You just go with your gut and your instinct. I think we've always been that way.
We are cute. It's true. And see,
Gabby's
Amy Lee,
from PTSD.
That's hard. I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
Well, you have to do whatever you can healing wise, and there's so much. You have to be vigilant. It's an everyday thing. Like Amy Lee requested to join as a guest. I don't know what that.
Oh, that means we would come on. No, we don't have guests. We're lucky we can get this thing to work. You weren't here earlier.
Amy Lee is my boyfriend cheating on.
We were talking about that kind of situation.
You guys try to stay away from those kind of questions today.
Well, no, we're trying to show you how to answer it yourself. I mean, the first thing is if you think he's cheating on you, he probably is. Why would you say that? Because an oracle is to improve your intuition.
It's why we're trying to tie it in with oracle work, how that can help guide you. Now, if you ask the cards too many times,
You get bad
the
answers.
cards get mad at you, and you can tell when they start getting mad at you because they give.
You get the bad cards and you get the death card. The death card means stop. If you've been asking the same question a whole bunch of times and all of a sudden you get the death card, that's
and
what
when
it
you
means.
use an oracle, it's very important. We were talking about wellness and health. It's important that you be clear, not drunk. Take a few deep breaths. It's a very meditative practice, so it's not a scary thing to consult the cards. It's a ritual, you know. So if I was going to be in that worried state of is somebody cheating on me, it means I have anxiety inside. So you have to kind of step out of it. When you do psychic reading, you're used to stepping out.
Right. Well, I'm also used to knowing that I don't know. And you have to be comfortable with the fact that you don't know, but that your higher self knows. It's like when you ask, are they coming back? If you were really able to step out of your own way and get into the spot in your head where your intuition is trying to tell you, you'd know the answer. It's like, did I see Laura? We know Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
it's a local healer.
Yeah, anxiety does. Yes, fear is the destroyer. As Anne-Marie was saying, anxiety equals limiting beliefs, so hard to fix. And you're asking about, will I get reimbursed from the dealership? Now, if you have your own oracle cards, you can answer that question. That's what we're talking about today, is people getting their own oracle cards and answering the question.
We can use that as an example. We said we'd do a couple of examples.
Okay.
So her goal is to get reimbursed, right?
Join my fan club. That was so cute.
So I'm being Laura asking, will I get reimbursed? Yes or no? The cards can answer yes or no. And I would say yes, because I got the Emperor.
This means you can't be emotional, because the Emperor is the least emotional card in the tarot.
And I don't know if you're dealing, you might have to go to corporate.
Yeah, you might have to go to the absolute capo de tutti capi, the boss of bosses, to get reimbursed for your recent car repairs. I'm sorry to hear that, because the cars are so important out here that it's the way horses used to be.
But so that's like an anxiety about money. Emery is saying about anxiety equals limiting beliefs, and that's hard to fix but the oracle work can help you do that, help you get in touch with your limiting beliefs, because like for instance, our vision board oracle cards have affirmations on the back. The affirmations seem like, it's just an affirmation, I say it to myself, but do you really believe it? Is it really a message to how you're thinking? And sometimes if it's a very positive affirmation, you think, that can't happen, I can't believe that. So it's a therapeutic process to see how we react just to the words. We were friends with Louise Hay, who was like the queen of affirmations and such an interesting person, and she really walked her talk. But affirmations go way back, even before Louise Hay, to Florence Scovel and other people, that talked about creating your own reality. And what, Lovey?
I was just reading about what someone said about their cat. Sorry. No, I didn't mean to stop you in what you're doing. I'm doing my part as the person who reads the chat.
And just says, oh, I see. The person's concerned about the cat. That's a big thing.
Yeah, because I can relate to him. So as you were saying.
I don't know. It stopped me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop you. Pinky says, I was gifted an oracle deck but have no idea how to use it. I'm intrigued. Well, the way I've seen people read playing card decks, what you see in a good oracle deck, one that speaks to you, I know it was gifted to you, so you had nothing.
Because you should like the artwork. That's number one.
Right.
And it doesn't, usually they come with a book or come with full-fledged big books usually, because we like to teach you about symbols and colors and how it actually works with your intuition. But you don't even have to read the book, because any oracle can work just your response to the picture.
I just, Anne-Marie says, can you answer the cat? And she made a sad face.
Oh, listen. She wants what's psychically about the cat. It's a hard question. We've lost our two cats. And
yes.
It's the worst thing, because they're your muse and your comfort, and we're just...
I mean, I personally think health questions are too important to ask a psychic or tarot cards or anybody like that. I mean, what I got was he needs to, or she needs to be out, him, okay, he needs to be outside. Something about outside. Maybe needs air, or to be in love. I fell in love with the deck's beauty. Unfortunately, no book. Well,
Pinky
it's what it
said,
means to you.
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying because you should look at the pictures and trust. But that's the hardest part in using oracles and in relationships, that trust, especially we were talking about we've been together so long since we were young and we trust each other totally. But in a new relationship and, in these days, how do you trust? We don't trust anything really. So that's why we want to get back to your gut feeling. You know the answer lots of times before you ask.
This is true. The ancients had a saying, if you know your question, you know your answer. And by that they meant if you drill down into your question, you will come to probably a different question and you know the answer to that one. Kim, note, you don't have to apologize to me. I know what you're going through. Um, Thank you about our oracle decks being so pretty, especially the gold trim ones. I agree with that.
Thank you.
We didn't even ask them to trim them in gold.
Emery was asking about what it's like to make an oracle deck. Do you know it's life transforming?
Yes.
And obviously we like it because we've done it very many times. But like the Enchanted Tarot was the first deck I designed, and I made a tapestry for each card. If you don't know our work, it's mixed media fabric. So there's 78 cards in a deck, and I did that in 1990, and I just kind of collapsed after doing this 78 cards. But since it taught me so much about life, because I did the swords first, because the swords are the most conflicted, difficult cards. So I thought I'll get those over with, and they turned out to be some of the most beautiful cards, and enabled us to see the beauty in these challenges and these difficult times.
Yeah, the Enchanted Tarot was the first thing that we worked on together. So that was what started Amy and I as collaborators. Here, this is the Enchanted Tarot.
Because I would do the art, and then Monte would write about it. So for us, it's very much a part of our love story. This collaboration of words and art. And if artists want to do it, I highly recommend it, because like for an artist where you're exploring all these different signs and symbols and meanings, the cards, and an oracle deck, you can make your own system.
And this
tarot has a basic system that you kind of stick to.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And our first oracle, because the tarot is really the tarot, but the first oracle card deck we did was in this came out in 1988, still in print. It's in 18 languages, and it's all about astrology. So how do you do an oracle deck? Practice. It's like the old joke about how do you get to Carnegie Hall. You have to know what you're talking about.
You have to have life experience. I went by an oracle deck from a 20-year-old.
Oh, thank you, Isabella Wolf, too. I have that deck, Karma Cards. Well, I'm the author of that deck and the creator of that deck.
Thank you.
Can you open the Enchanted Tarot, or is it sealed? No, Amy has the cards right here.
You know what we did? We color coded. This is like from the beginning. It's coming out again, the 35th anniversary edition. But it's always color coded. So the major arcana have this purple border, and the swords have blue. So you always know, even if you just first glance at your reading or your card, it's an idea question. It's a communication question. Answer.
As Anne-Marie was saying,
these are the hearts, which are cups in other decks, and they're all sort of this pinky color. And then, of course, the pentacles are money and work. They're green. So the colors should speak to you when you design the deck.
And this is the book that comes with it, which I wrote. It's a real book. It's not just like a little booklet. And it's full color.
And it has a dream and a ritual, an enchantment for every card, which is ritual work that uses crystals. And keep in mind, this came out in 1990. Since then, we've been copied, or let's say we've inspired a lot of other decks.
Yeah, my Karma cards are very popular on Temu, except the ones they sell are complete.
Don't buy on Temu.
Yeah, they're complete ripoff.
Thanks, Isabella Wolf.
That's
one of the first, yes. Because, now there are a lot of oracles available, but and there's a lot of everything available, right?
Right.
But it should be an intimate experience where you love the art, you believe the author has some credentials, or
And since we know love, we created this.
that's the Enchanted Love Tarot.
And this one just designed, you just pick one card and it's all about love, and it's some of my best writing. Thank you, Megan. Yeah, yeah. The cards are color coded in the tarot. We
We
try and
try to
put as
make it easy
yeah,
because
exactly.
Monte's such a good writer. He's very friendly in his writing, like he's talking to you, because it can be intimidating to think you have to memorize 78 cards, or um, even with astrology, you make it very accessible.
Well, I remember what it's like not to know about this stuff and not to believe in it and to think it's nonsense, and to know how much it's helped me, and to know that some people are not getting into it because they think it's something weird, or against God or against religion, and it's not. The oracle cards are a search engine. That when you see oracle cards, think search engine. It's how is a search engine the work of the devil? Well, so I guess some people think so, but
Thank you, Megan. She says our energy is peaceful. It's true. We have a very peaceful life, very peaceful home, and everyone can make their sanctuary that way. With colors and art. We have art all over the house, and we do a lot to take care of ourselves and each other because we want to live a long time.
yes, because
Peaceful
everything.
rabbits.
We do have peaceful rabbits. I think they're hibernating now. Um,
Pink says that she grew up very religious. Her parents would be mad at her. I've heard that before from people, and that is challenging when you go your own way that way. I was actually raised without any religion. My mother was very free spirit, that way. It never confined me to have certain belief system, or I didn't go to any churches or anything when I was young, so I don't even understand, the overlays of that kind of religion. But she was very spiritual, and that made me very spiritual with nature. I think, nature is the teacher.
it sure is. Yeah, because Amy grew up in the northeastern Pennsylvania, which is her family's there since before the Revolution, the American Revolution. Thank you for the heart, Angela. I love it when it said, join my fan club. Um, we're having a lot of fun here. I hope you are too. I hope the sound is still good. We had a little hiccup at the very beginning, but we
You
were
want
all
to share some of your manifestation techniques?
sure. Okay, so manifestation. I mean, as I said before, the vision board oracle comes with a lot of my techniques, all my techniques for manifestation from my book Quantum Affirmations. And quantum affirmations, and this is going to sound familiar to you, Anne Marie. Quantum affirmations is the secret that the movie and the book The Secret kept secret, because they say, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can manifest, you can do this, but they don't tell you how.
It's this book, which
Yes,
has all my collage techniques and Monty's manifestation techniques.
and it also has the oracle cards that we've been using. And so there is a scientific basis for manifestation. And the scientific basis for manifestation is, first you identify your goal. And that's usually the hardest part. What do you want? Because you can say, well, I want to be with someone. Well, why do you want to be with someone? You got to keep drilling down. Like I said, the ancients had an expression: if you know your question, you know your answer. Is it that you just don't want to be alone and you're willing to put up with a lot to be with somebody? Or is it, do you feel empty? Do you feel like you need someone to complete you?
Or you're going by what society says you're supposed to be with someone.
Right, if you haven't produced grandchildren, or, for your parents or whatever. But the thing is, so you identify your goal, and the next thing is identify your history.
But identifying your goal is not always so easy, right?
The hardest part. It's the hardest
what
one.
do you want? And sometimes when you do a reading, you say to the person, what do you want to know? And they were like, just tell me something.
Right, and thanks to Zoom, I do readings for people all around the world: Vietnam, Switzerland, and of course the United States and Europe. Switzerland's part of that. But what I'm trying to say is, doing readings for people, I see certain patterns emerge. And the first time that I ask somebody, well, what do you want to know? A lot of times people are like, well, I just thought you were going to read me. I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
But it's more powerful if you want something, you want to know something, then you can start drilling down, like Monte said.
Right, because everybody has goals. I was reading for a friend of mine who's a billionaire. He really is. And I said to him, okay, now imagine that you're getting $1 million. And he was like, wait. Can it be $100 million? Because for him, that's reality. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it, but yeah. So you take yourself from where you are now to get to the future that you want to be in based on who you are now and your belief system. And your belief system is what affirmations are designed to help you with, because we all use affirmations. Unfortunately, a lot of people use affirmations like, oh, I can't do that because, or I'm too this to do that. And, you know, those are affirmations and you got to change it. So the first thing is, what do you want? The second is, what's your history with your goal with what you want?
That's what Anne Marie was saying before, that sometimes those limiting beliefs are hard to fight because
Yes.
they're so ingrained, but you have to do the new revised beliefs as often as you do those negative beliefs. I mean, sometimes it's so subconscious what we tell ourselves that you really have to be mindful and shift constantly because it's a habit.
Exactly. And so the third thing is identify your gift, because a large part, as Anne Marie said, is dealing with that anxiety that comes with, oh my God, I haven't gotten what I wanted. Why haven't you got it? Because you're afraid of it. There's a, you know, once an atom is of neutral, you know, when electrons are become neutral, they can pass through anything. So you want to get into the future that you want to get to without something stopping you. You have to get rid of that charge, that fear, that electrical, oh my God, that can't happen, or there's a million reasons why it can't happen. You just got to get into that neutral calmness. And that calmness can exist within you and does exist in you, in the sense that you have a gift, something that you do effortlessly, and you can do it endlessly, whether that's being a good parent, being a good friend, being a good child, having various skills, cooking, art, sports, all these things. Being a good driver. I wish there was a lot more people who that's their gift. But the thing is, once you identify your gift, that's something that calms you right down, because oh my
You're
God,
good at it.
yeah, dancing. Oh, I can dance. I can dance all
And
night.
you love it. So, I mean, this whole manifestation technique is like a game. You can have fun doing it.
Right. Exactly. And so, and then the fourth step, okay, so it's identify what you want, why didn't you get it, identify your gift, and then the next thing is blend your gift with your goal. Every time you do your gift, think of it as getting your goal.
Because your goal seems hard, it seems difficult. You know, what can I do to get that? But your gift is effortless.
Exactly. And
So, for instance, like I'm really good at collage and making art. So when I have another goal outside of that, I visualize, whoops, I visualize myself attaining that goal by collaging it, or because that comes effortlessly to me.
right, exactly. And so you've stepped down the electrical charge that of the fear that you have associated with with what you're trying to
Yeah.
get done. And so that brings you to the fifth step, because you've identified your goal, you've identified your history with that goal, you've identified your gift, and you've blended your gift with your goal. Number five is make a contemplation in your mind's eye. And here's where my technique, my quantum affirmations technique, really differs from affirmations. Why do affirmations not work for people? I mean, affirmations are great, but you know,
They don't keep doing them, or they don't believe them.
yeah, because you do something like every day in every way I'm getting better and better, and there's a part of you that knows no, I'm not, and not in every way, and so in my quantum affirmations technique, when you hit something like that, you're supposed to say, yeah, that's true, and just keep going, because you're trying to make yourself strong and not afraid. So if you are going to get your goal, let's say you're alone and you're going to be with someone, visualize what that means, because let's say, you know, you might meet someone, they might have some habits that you don't like.
Anne Marie saying, explain contemplation.
Contemplation is to do a meditation or a visualization where you visualize yourself attaining your goal. You know, and you blended your gift with your goal. You know what your goal is. You know your history with it, and you see yourself attaining it. I mean, the easiest thing I could talk to you about is, you know, you win the lottery and you find out you have relatives you never knew. It's with everything. There's an old expression, it comes with the territory. When you get your goal, yes, it's going to be great. And yes, it's going to be different. And it's going to happen in a way that you don't know, because quantum affirmation works, but you don't ever get it the way you think you're going to.
Well, I think, lots of times when people are not thinking things through, they say, I want more money, but they're not thinking, like you say, what they're going to do with it very
Right.
specifically, because the more you make it real, the more real it can be. Hi, Angela, who just joined us.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, someone Marigold saying, when you do birth chart readings, do you ever see families with the same right? I do see familial things where they both have the same Venus or the same Saturn. You know,
Yes.
because
Or
Saturn takes
sometimes he does a series of readings for people that aren't related and the same issues
that
and
happens.
signs and placements come up. That's very bizarre, right?
Yeah, really. Lindy Legrand, and then it stops. Hello from New Zealand. That's cool.
Hi, Lindy.
We have relatives in New
We
Zealand.
do. Our nephew and niece live there.
Yeah, and great nephew. He is great. So the contemplation is a visualization that you do where you see yourself getting it, and when you naturally start to see the problems that will arise, you say, "Yeah, that's part of it." And
Because that's real life.
yeah,
It's not this fantasy like, when you meet the one, it's all going to be smooth sailing because gosh knows in 50 years we've been through, not in our relationship, but life challenges, losses, and money issues, and all those ups and downs. So that's what a real relationship has to go through, or I mean, that's real life. So when you want something, you have to visualize and embrace the real life aspects of it.
right. Because even if someone gives you a bag of gold coins, then when you visualize that, that's like, oh my God, where am I going to put these? Am I going to put them in the bank? What if the bank closes? You know, what if I want to spend them? Will anyone take them? These are the things that are going to arise in anybody who's thoughtful and can visualize a future that they're trying to attain, and no matter what it is. But there's always going to be negatives. If you are alone and you're with someone, they might not like your dog. You might not like their dog, their cat. You might be
They leave their
allergic.
clothes on the floor.
Yeah, and
We don't go for that.
no, exactly. They don't change their underwear unless the month has an R in it. That's a problem right there.
So yeah, so you might have, Amory's saying like some people get divorced and whatever. You might have had not the right person to begin with. I mean, we see that a lot where people have been through relationships and have children, but then they meet the one. And I think there's a one for everyone.
Yeah, there's a German
If you
expression.
want the one, some people prefer to be alone, and that's okay too. I
And
don't think people should feel like they have to have kids or they have to be with somebody. We chose not to have kids, and um, I don't mind telling young people that because they think they're supposed to. They think, but you can do things however you want. Obviously, these days.
Exactly. So once again, it always comes back to dealing with your internal fears, because fear is the destroyer.
And we have to really be attuned to what's going on in there, because you can say I want to meet somebody, but inside what's going on? What are you hearing? That you're not good enough, or there's nobody out there. That's a big thing we hear. That there's nobody out there for you.
We are outliers there, though, says Emery. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you think it's the squeaky wheels that get the grease, and there's a lot of people that have great relationships. We know a few.
Yeah.
We've known a few. You know, some of them have passed on because they're older people, a lot older than us, and we knew them when we were younger and they were older. But they've had some great relationships. Yes, we are a championship couple. That's true. The cute couple, as Rona Jaffe, the author, used to call us.
But I guess it's not like we went into a relationship thinking that this was going to last forever, or we were young and adventurous and fell madly in love.
Yeah,
And we were lucky.
luck does play a part in it, but
And destiny.
Thomas Jefferson, I think they attributed this to him. He said, "I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more luck I have. When I met Amy, I was working on myself. I was studying the Seth Speaks material, and I was reading Paramahansa Yogananda, and I was playing music at Sri Chinmoy's restaurant.
Which goes back to what we're saying. So if you're asking the question, will they come back to you? Forget that. Go work on yourself, because that's when you magnetize the right person who's also working on themselves. It's going to be the right one.
And I do readings for people, as I said, all around the world. And sometimes they'll say, well, I just broke up with someone, and I hear, from my psychic imagination, I hear the spirits go, good. And I say it, because you got to say what you get, because not everybody is supposed to be with everybody else. And when people say, is he the one? And I'm like, if you got to ask me if he's the one, he's not the one. Because when it's the one, it's the one. There's no doubt about that.
And if it's a time when you are alone or waiting to meet somebody, use that time productively to work on yourself and grow as a person. And there's so many ways you can do that. And that goes back to the oracle work we were talking about. How do you get to know yourself?
Right, and know thyself is actually, this was from the beginning of our session today. The oracle at Delphi, there were two pillars. Actually, in the tarot, in the Pamela Coleman Smith tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, it shows the high priestess sitting on a throne, and there's two pillars. One pillar said, know thyself, and the other one said, nothing in excess.
Yes, so that's good advice too.
So how do you know yourself? Actually, that's how I start my book, Your Cosmic Blueprint, which is coming out in April, because, all the wisdom teachings of the world say, know thyself. Well, how are you supposed to do it? You can do it through oracle cards. You can do it through astrology. And that's what astrology is for. It's to help you know yourself. Astrology is really, people say, well, people don't come with manuals, user manuals. Well, guess what? They do. And your astrology chart, your cosmic blueprint is your manual, and it's custom made for you.
And it doesn't mean like two charts, go together like two gears.
Right.
We both have very independent charts that maybe you would look at, that it's a very free person, that doesn't necessarily need somebody else. But those two charts work well together.
Exactly. Well, and there's the trust issues, because Amy and I trust each other implicitly. Yes, when you've been together 50 years, you know each other very well, but we've always been pretty amazingly close. It's kind of wonderful.
Anne-Marie, thank you. She says her sessions with you help her to get focused. It's true. And in this day and age, it's so easy to get distracted or unfocused because we're bombarded with information. We all have work to do that takes us out of maybe what we really should be doing, and we have to come back in, whenever we can, whether it's a few minutes of doing deep breathing or checking in with the cards, because the cards are never wrong, because the cards are telling you what's inside of you.
That's right. And cards are us here. We've done many.
It's powerful. That's why we do these things, because we want everyone to experience that aha moment, when you pick a card and it resonates and it speaks the language of your heart, and it tells you what you know inside, but it articulates it in a way that makes sense.
And it's all about being the change you want to see. We want to see everybody who has a relationship have a relationship like we do.
Hi, Colette.
Heidi's Hideout.
Thanks for coming. Sending love to you.
Oh my God.
What's your favorite oracle? Is that what Anne-Marie? That's like asking our favorite child.
Yeah, it's really hard to say.
We are attached to our first two, karma cards in the Enchanted Tarot, our firstborn.
I absolutely love the Wild Goddess Oracle, and we're going to make that live again.
But we just did a whole vision board session on Zoom with a bunch of people, and
the vision board oracle might be the famous one, right?
Well, I just love, before our session, I read the book again, and it's like sometimes you have to re-look at or reread what you've written, because we're very prolific, so we have to go back and kind of appreciate it.
The Illuminated Lion was gifted y'all's love tarot, and thank you so much.
Thank you. We were just talking about that because we were talking about relationships, and we wanted to make one just focused. It's at the bottom.
Oh, it's at the bottom. We have a lot of our books here, but we don't have all of them. We've done over 50.
The Enchanted Love Tarot, which really because love is the big question, right?
Yeah.
We want to make that one just focused on questions about love and relationships. And if you're a reader, besides getting read, we want people to be readers and help your friends. And um, besides checking in and reading for yourself,
Exactly.
lots of times we're with our friends and they have questions, and we'll pull out the cards because that's the best way to get to the core of the matter.
Yes, and the illuminated line, you're absolutely right. The Enchanted Love Tarot is all about love, and you only have to pick one card. It's designed for that.
Anne Marie loves the Wild Goddess, which we do too. I just asked if it'll get republished. What do you think, Monte?
Yes, that's
Cool.
the beginning.
It's a new beginning for the Wild Goddess, I hope. Because, when you put so much effort and love, and we've had things republished and go out of print,
Oh yeah.
back in print, so we're kind of used to that.
Yeah, and because we've watched ups and downs, people don't know that there's cycles. They forget that there's cycles. Not everything is going to be great all the time, and sometimes you're dealing with difficulties, like we were dealing with the microphones earlier on today. And
I'm glad that's the extent of our difficulties today.
Well, that's what redundancy is all about. You got to have extra stuff.
Also, in our careers, we're very diversified because I have my art career, we have our book career, I have my fashion career, we have your counseling career. So if one is slow and the other one is it's going faster, it balances out so you're not so attached, or if to that one part that's slow, if that's all you did.
Right. And
but that's what we've invented as freelancers to make it work for us, because we knew we wanted to have careers that were creative and expressed our talents.
Thank you, Lindy Lagrange. Michelle Welsh is my favorite teacher, and she absolutely loves you guys. We absolutely love her too.
She's a good friend, and she's an amazing psychic.
She really
we trade
is.
readings. When I need a reading, I ask Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle is awesome. Everybody, thank you so much. I mean, we're coming down to the last 10 minutes, so if maybe we should ask.
Let's do some samples. So if you have a question outside of Willie, come back to me.
Here's actually Geraldine.
Geraldine that's
G.
a good question. Okay.
Will I be able to get a loan to open a Pilates studio with childcare business? That's interesting. Pilates for children?
Well, Pilates is strength, and I get the strength card.
That's a
so
yes.
That's a yes. So I wouldn't be worried about getting it. I think you will get that loan.
Yes, and illuminated line, creativity and love go hand in hand. That's true. And we think of creativity as spirituality, because you're imitating the spirit that creates, because the spirit created us all, and there we go. So
anybody else have a question? Because we thought we'd do a few. The lives that we did, where we did readings for every single person, we got wiped out. So we have to pace ourselves.
Especially since it was all about, is so and so coming back? That was hard. But if you have other, it was our pleasure, Geraldine G, excuse me. That the great thing about what we're doing here is this really allows us to fulfill our mission, because we really do want to be the change we want to see. We want to see everyone have better intuition, and that's what oracle cards are about, is getting in touch with your higher self, which is trying to advise you all the time. And a lot of times people put blocks, and they got to get out of their own way. The oracle cards gives you an answer that helps you get out of your own way.
And a different perspective, because we might think things should be this way, and you're very attached to, what you think. And all of a sudden the cards will give you a new perspective, which opens up and expands the possibilities. So here's...
This is great. I purchased Vision Board deck. Can't wait to use it. Missed the Zoom. Well, we'll do it again.
Yes, and we'll post, I think we'll post the recording of it. But thank you for purchasing. We appreciate that. Will I be able to finish scores for Marigold this year?
And Linda, you can ask a question, of course.
Will I be able to finish school this year?
Okay. I heard yes.
I got the patience card, so it might take a little longer. So this is the temperance card, which means patience, timing. What do you think?
Yeah.
You heard yes.
I heard yes.
A little longer?
A little longer, or just about.
Well, just be patient with the whole thing, because probably Your patience is in there.
I just want to get back because the questions are coming fast now.
Okay, now here's a question. It's not will he come back to me, but will my friendship move into an intimate partnership?
I like that one. Okay, we're going to do the cards on this. Sometimes I hear the answer. This is at the planning stage.
Which I would think it's it's new, like you said, it's friendship.
So you got to.
I wouldn't worry about that now. I would just like think where you've come from in your relationships with other people, and maybe avoid that happening in this one. Maybe wanting it to move too fast.
Will I be getting money for a car soon? Says Kim.
You have to kind of
I don't know.
demand it.
Yeah, really.
I don't know who you're asking for money, but
this is the queen that doesn't take no for an answer.
She's very direct, so I think somehow you have to speak
your mind.
Ask for it, yeah.
Okay, and let's see.
Sometimes people ask, what's the difference between the tarot and other oracles? Can you explain the difference?
Well, the tarot is something that's been around for hundreds of years.
And it has a complete system, 78 cards. An artist can interpret it the way they want to.
And an oracle, like oracle cards, like my karma cards, is a system I invented.
Because anything can be an oracle. You can read the birds and the sky and the clouds, but we like to make it artistic and inspiring. And the more information you have in that card, the more it can speak to different questions.
So I think I have a question. I see signs that two men from my past will come into my life again. Okay.
So what's the
question? But I don't want them to really. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, okay. Will they or won't they?
Well, that's two questions because there's two people. Sounds like pretty crowded.
I got this juggling.
Oh my God, this really is.
This speaks to your question because see, it's two balls and two snakes. It's like juggling, keeping two balls in the air, which might sound weird in terms of your question.
Yeah, really. But it says that is basically stay flexible and check them both out. And so Anne Marie says, will I be successful and helpful working for that Irvine company? JP is CO. Irvine, California?
Will I be successful? Yes or no? Yes or ooh, yes, this is great.
Well, this is discipline card.
Standing up for what you believe in. So when you make the agreement, make sure that it's what you want, so stand up for the things that you're requesting.
As you can see, Amy used my father's police sergeant stripes from his NYPD uniform as the arrow tips.
But I always see that card is strong and vital. So if you're asking yes or no, I would say it's a yes.
Yes, exactly. So that makes sense, though. That's good. Will I be getting money for the car soon? Is Kim going to get money for the car?
It's another car question.
Well, cars are awesome. Yeah, Laura had a question before about that. Yeah, this is fast.
This is like transportation moving forward.
Yeah,
right?
Literally. This is.
And it's quick, so it'll be soon. She wanted to know soon. Right?
Yeah, this is soon. Anytime you see wands are fire. Wands are hot stuff.
And Chris wants to know, will the work project she's been waiting on move forward?
Okay.
This is the meditation card, so I think you might have to wait.
But it's also, it looks like a little house, right? So
protect yourself from anybody's negative input. You have to stay in your peaceful state about this. But it might take a little longer.
Exactly. And Kim asked that question.
Robin.
And Chris says, will the work project I've been waiting?
That's what we just asked.
Oh, sorry.
Robin, will I finally find a house to buy and move soon?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of houses on the market soon. This is go by the book.
And also, it might be in a place where you lived before. This is like reuniting with someone or something. So I don't know if it's a
family
broker that you've worked with before or a neighborhood that you've lived in before, something like that.
Or it might be near a church or a religious area.
But it's a yes.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a Pope. Kim, the lottery. Oh, that's funny.
So one more question. Star, I like this. Will I develop more spiritually? Let's see what the cards say.
Okay. Yes.
This card came up before, and it's strength. It's like using love and not force. So I would say it's just a very natural thing for you. I think, it's getting stronger and stronger. And that's a beautiful thing.
Well, this was fun. We had
Thank you, everybody who joined us. We loved it so much, and we're doing this every Sunday at 4 p.m.
We sure are.
And Monte's jumping on
Every night.
every night. We don't know if it's 11
or midnight, because midnights with Monte sounds so cool. I want to do it at midnight, but I don't want to do it too late at night.
But he's talking astrology and his lots of stories from Monte at night.
So we told Robin that we got the Hierophant, and he said something about resurrection. My former husband has asked me to remarry him and move home.
Oh, yes.
That is so right.
I love that. We love feedback. Here's our enchanted world.
I'm trying to be professional here with our logo. This is who we are. We have a website, Enchanted World, if you want to visit it every once in a while. We have a TikTok store if you want to get some of the books we've shown here and spoken to you about.
We'll
be back on Sunday, next Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm Monte Farber.
Amy Cerner. Bye-bye, everybody.
Love you. If we can figure out now how to stop this thing. Okay. Must be a button that you push.
Yeah.
Where do you see it?
I'm just thinking here.
No, I don't think that's it. Anybody know how to stop this thing? Good thing I'm not driving a bus. No, I don't think that's it, but we'll try it.